What's Happening Man? Hit him up anytime. Myron at what'shappeningmyron.com. It's the What's Happening Myron Radio Show.
Tyrese, man, he is dealing with a lot. Here lately, with his daughter. He's been in the news quite a bit. It did just start. Of course, a lot of these events kind of kicked off a few months ago when it was like in the news that he was kind of feuding with his Fast and Furious co-star, The Rock. He was going to court, I guess, for his the issue with his daughter. There was some reports of child abuse. His ex-wife was actually accusing him of, which I think all of that actually turned out well. Just that's a couple of weeks ago, right before the court date, he had an airplane flown around her school with a banner saying that, no matter what happens, daddy still loves you. And, I'm sure that kind of freaked out a lot of people because that was over the top and everything too. But I can understand where the brother's heart is at and everything too, because that's his daughter. And I think that's like the only kid he has.
It is.
And, I got 5 of them to like distribute the love among, but he just has one. We were just watching the video. So
let me just say that in the things that I've seen, his ex-wife Norma declares that he is bipolar, right? And that doesn't surprise me at all. You'll find that many times a lot of these very successful actors and actresses are bipolar, but when they're on, right? And that's part of the reason why they're able to play the roles they're able to play. And we love seeing them play these roles. Unfortunately, many of them are still playing these roles in real life.
Exactly.
And so if you've seen any of his social media posts and things like that, some of his social media posts are quite interesting, right? So that is one of the reasons why her allegations of him having bipolar disorder does not surprise me. But at the same time, this could not be a revelation to her that he does, right?
No, it can't.
Right. So my this is just me and my little opinion, but my opinion is that she knew this prior to having a child with him, prior to marrying him, but she thought it was worth it. Right? And so now he doesn't magically not have bipolar disorder because you've decided to marry him and have a child with him. But this is something that you've decided that you wanted to take on. And I think for her to be publicly shaming him is a poor taste. Because especially if it's somebody with a mental disorder, like you knew he had this mental disorder, and now that it's to your benefit, you're going to come out here and you're going to act like, oh my goodness, he needs help, and I'm willing to support him through the courts so that he can be the father that we need him to be for our child. Really? Through the courts? So it's not like you're willing to support him to get the help that he needs to have so that he can have the relationship with your child. Period.
Through the courts.
Right. Because it is fiscally beneficial to her. And so I just feel like I do feel bad for him. I feel bad that he made a decision to be with someone who knew going in that this is what they were getting themselves into. But when it's convenient for them, they want to, plead, damsel in distress.
And I'm just going to say this, mental illness, depression, bipolar, all of that stuff that's real stuff. And, and we make jokes about it.
We make light of it. Absolutely.
And, but it's serious. And I mean, I'm willing to bet a lot on that. Every one of us knows someone, even if it's just one person who, has some mental illness, going on that's happening. And, they may be okay. They may be, taking their meds and everything like they're supposed to be. Even sometimes, situations will cause meds not to be as effective, I guess, as they.
And stress is a huge trigger no matter what. Someone who's mentally stable, who doesn't have any mental illness can, stress can trigger in them behavior that is outside of their norm, right? So someone who needs a substance in order for them to stay even keel, and then you add stress on top of that, that's even more over the top. That's even harder for them to handle and to deal with. And so I cannot imagine that you're going to tell me as a grown woman that you went out with this man and you did not notice that he had any type of mood swings or anything like that prior to you marrying him and having his child.
She knew all of that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry. And listen, everybody knows me that I'm Miss Independent Woman. I'm a feminist to my heart, but I'm also a realist. Yeah. And so the reality tells me, lady, you can't come up here and play damsel in distress like you didn't know that this man had these issues. You knew he had these issues, but you thought, hey, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna hook up with him and solidify my $13,000 a month in child support.
That's Tyrese.
Right.
From the bus on the Coca-Cola commercial way back in the day.
And the truth of the matter is, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I had an opportunity to date him and I turned it down.
Really?
I absolutely did. We have a mutual person that we knew in common, and he kept trying to. We lived in the same, well, his mother and I lived in the same city when I lived in Southern California. And my mutual friend kept trying to hook the two of us up, and I just didn't feel like that was something I wanted to do because I am. Wow.
So if you had dated Tyrese, I don't know who I'd be doing this show with right now.
Still with me, because it wouldn't have worked out. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, but
it would not have worked out.
You probably would have took a different path something. This
is my path. I am definitely on my path right now. I would have ended up in Memphis one way or the other. I'm just being honest with you. Like, there is nothing in my past that says I should have even ended up here. And when I came here, I fell in love with this city. So I would have ended up in Memphis anyway. This is my path. This is my journey.
Okay.
But I'm just telling you that as a woman, right, we make these decisions. We make these decisions about who we're going to date. We know these things going in. We weigh it out and say, is it worth it to me?
It's not that big of a problem right now.
Right.
It's everything else outweighs it.
Yes.
We can.
She's having a good old time being. And here's the thing. I have dated somebody who was bipolar. I didn't know he was bipolar, but I quickly figured it out, and I quickly turned that dating into a friendship. Because I realized that was something that I did not think that I could personally manage. And at the point where I figured it out, I didn't even say anything to him. He didn't actually say anything to me about it until 6 months after we were no longer, quote unquote, dating. And he was having some issues where his meds was off or whatever, and he needed somebody that could confide in.
Speaking of which, I was just about to say, what Tyrese needs right now is a good friend.
Yes.
And definitely one who's going to keep him from posting videos.
We're in Memphis, from popping off.
From popping off, basically. Yes. He needs a good friend to keep him from popping off, because posting videos, well, actually, he needs to be off of social media
for now.
Period.
Absolutely.
And because all of that stuff, all of that stuff can actually hurt him when it comes to his daughter.
Yes, because it lends to him being unstable. And that's the whole picture that she is painting. And so it could be more harm. Like, I know that he did it probably from a very emotional space, and that there's people who felt like, well, maybe that will make the judge have some leniency and feel sorry for him. No,
it can actually
from the perspective of a judge, his job is to make sure that child is going to be in the care of someone who can take care of her.
That just made me think about something too. I'm gonna comb through my Facebook page later tonight, and just look at
check it out.
Just check it out. Just peruse some stuff through my little history and everything, and just see if it might be something that I may feel different about now.
Taken wrong.
Yeah, maybe taking it wrong way or something like that. I'm gonna go ahead and take all that. Take some of that stuff down if I feel different about it.
3 months later, that kind of thing.
Things change after 3-4 months and stuff like that, and you don't feel that way and may not ever feel that way again. So, I think that's going to be a little activity for me later on tonight, just peruse through there and see
Myron, speaking of people feeling differently later, I know somebody who's feeling really differently about something that they did.
Who's that?
Chrisette Michele.
Yes. Yes, very good. Very good.
I'm
Very good.
just
See, that's why
saying,
you're here.
she's
That's why you're here. But yeah, she's dealing with some stuff too, man. And it's kind of amazing how it only takes like one small thing to just change the whole dynamic and just change the whole game for you. But I know y'all probably have heard everything about Chrisette Michele and the backlash that she's gotten and everything from the Trump inauguration and stuff. So we're gonna talk about that next because honestly, I think I don't know. I'll give you my thoughts on it, and I know a lot of people are not gonna agree with me, and so be it. You ain't gotta like me all the time. You ain't gotta love me all the time either, but you will love me again though. Trust me. But y'all stick around. We'll talk about that coming up in just a few right here on the What's Happening Myron Radio Show.
It's Myron. You're listening to the What's Happening Myron Radio Show.